Good. Thank you all for coming today to this presentation. We will be talking about life support and how it can positively and negatively affect those around you. So first of all, we're going to talk about what life support means. And according to the Free Dictionary, life support is considered a spectrum of techniques or equipment used to maintain life after the failure of one or more vital organs. These machines produce the same functions that your body would produce after it's unable to on its own. And these functions are necessary to keep that person alive. So in turn, life support can either assist a patient with healing and recovery after an event or a medical situation that occurs, or it can prolong a decision of making, it can prolong the decision making of removal if that is the next course of action. According to reference.com, life support can be incredibly expensive. Due to the nature of the needs of the patient, it can range from $2,000 to $4,000 a day, sometimes reaching up to $10,000 a day. Not only that, but insurances can choose to drop the patient based on the fact that it is so expensive, or maybe they have run out of assistance, which increases the financial burden and can cause stress to the family. And not only is it draining of finances, it can be emotionally stressful for families. CBS News posted a look back at a 1995 case of Terry Schiavo. She went into a vegetative coma due to congestive heart failure, and during that time, the husband and the parents were battling each other based on what they thought that Terry wanted for her life. The husband was stating that Terry had told him that she did not want to be left in a coma or any sort of vegetative state if that event should happen. And her parents said that she did want to fight for her life. She wanted to be hooked up to machines. She wanted a chance at survival. And the battle lasted for years and years, and until eventually the husband won his case, and she was removed from life support, and she died 11 days later. Also, life support can be used inappropriately and to maintain a patient's point of care beyond the clarity of survival. It's been proven that the patient won't survive, and there's nothing more that they can medically do, and it is suggested that they be removed from life support, whether they're in a long-term care facility or within a hospital. This, according to the Encyclopedia of Death and Dying, this is the most common with elderly patients and can be seen mostly with them. Both of these points just show the importance of having an advance directive. According to the Patients' Rights Council, an advance directive or a living will gives family members and friends and medical professionals the ability to take the next course of action based on what the patient wants and not taking into account what anybody else suggests should happen next. And also, they also talk about how important it is to talk about being in those types of situations, what you should want, having difficult conversations with your family based on what you potentially might need or want when you are in those situations. An article by Crystal Ayers on connectus.com shared that life support can also provide life to other patients through organ donation. The life support can keep the body producing those functions so that medical professionals can harvest the organs needed that can save another life, and in turn help another family who are grieving, going through loss, and give another person another chance at life. According to the Cleveland Clinic, they wanted to share that it's also important to remember that when a person is on life support, they can be clinically brain dead based on the medical professional's diagnosis after assessing the patient. When they are diagnosed as brain dead, there's no pain, the patient can't feel, there's no functions that are going on inside the body. And a lot of patients' families will look at it as if they're in pain and that they can feel everything that's going on, and that's not what we want. The number one thing that all families want for their loved ones is to have a peaceful passing, and feeling pain is scary to them because we don't want them to go through that. But this website, their article wanted to make it clear that when they're in that state, they don't feel anything. Life support also gives family the appropriate time that they need to process death properly. According to grief.com, there are 5 stages of grief. There's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Going through these 5 stages of grief allows the family to properly go through all of these stages needed to assess death and grieve. And when you lack the processing of one of these stages, then you in turn are not grieving appropriately and could potentially not get through the death and look at death in a different way based on the passing of another loved one. I want to thank you for listening to this presentation and being here for this, that life support can do good or it can be harmful based on what people think and how they process and where they're at in that stage, and that it's important to talk about the potential of being hooked up to machines and what it can do for you and your family and what it could do for other families should that event occur. So thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.